Stuart Pearce. Morning, Stuart.
Morning. It's nice to be in with you. Normally it's a comment on the phone and that's about it. You know,
so
it's a
much
pleasure.
Face to face.
I didn't say that when the alarm went off this morning, but
you cannot grumble about your alarm when ours went off a lot earlier.
You're not going to get any sympathy there.
That's one up to us, I think.
No, I've seen that on your faces.
Oh, that's a nice welcome, isn't it? Stuart, it's the day after the night before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've had a change of heart over your reflections of what you saw, because you were part of our commentary team. What did you make of it all?
It's one of those half full or half empty moments, really, you know. I look at it over a two game block. We've got 4 points out of 6. We're out the group. We're into the qualifying stages, so it will look, unless something remarkable happens. 2 clean sheets. Went into the tournament thinking, can we defend well enough? Can we keep enough clean sheets in the tournament? That box has been ticked-ish, let's say, you know. And we looked at our squad and thought, wow, we've got so many attacking options. We can score freely. And we struggled a little bit in that department. It's quite incredible. Almost turned it on its head. I've got to give credit to the Scots yesterday. I thought they come down, they grafted hard, typical, you know, England-Scotland affair, to be honest with you. There wasn't much difference in it. And at the end of the game, I thought to myself, what was the difference between this game and our game in 96? And it was a moment of brilliance by Gascoigne. We couldn't find a player to give us that moment of brilliance, and we hoped that we would get that from a Sterling, a Foden, a Grealish when he come on, or Harry Kane. But listen, you take the point, you take the clean sheet, and you dissect the performance accordingly, I think.
I was saying, Stuart, earlier that, you know, group phase games can be really tricky because you might not play your best.
Yeah.
You know, like Kane got in the last competition in World Cup, group phase, scored, got to the knockout stage and found it trickier. You know, the opposite might happen for him. He might not score in the group stage, get to the knockout stages and then suddenly come alive. Yeah. You know, knockout football is so different. England are doing what they needed to do, is get themselves in a position to get out the group and then face the challenges in front of them.
Yeah, it's probably looking workmanlike rather than sort of exciting us, let's say. But I don't mind that. And Harry Kane, obviously, his name has come to the fore here. I almost feel sorry for him. You know the position way better than I do. I know how to stop one, but I don't know how to be a creator in that position.
Well, it's looking at the bench, and you've been a manager, Stuart, and you sometimes know. You might, as in your career, sometimes substituted a player regularly and they know they're coming off. Yeah. And obviously that's happened back to Harry.
Yeah.
So he's half thinking, well, if I'm not scoring and not had a real impact on the game at 60 minutes, your captain of England might be coming off. Now, I hope that's not the case because Gareth's a very smart man and he knows what Kane can do. But at the moment, it's not really happening for him at this tournament, which, you know, tournament football, you can be out of a team very quickly when you're playing in the finals of a World Cup or European Championship.
You can. I think that he is so integral to the team. For our success, and I said this playing the friendlies up at Middlesbrough, for our success in this tournament, Harry Kane has to do well for us. Now, Harry at the moment's had to probably what you would call average games, but I don't lay all the responsibility on his door because no one's creating for him. We never got to the byline in the game yesterday. I see a lot of that. For me, I mean, I play fullback a lot of my life, and the matchups on the pitch yesterday with Scotland playing a 5-3-2, the midfield was sort of man for man, 3v3. The players with the space were the 2 fullbacks for us, Reece James and Luke Shaw. And Reece, for some reason, I don't know whether the occasion got to him a little bit, was so conservative in what he done.
He's played the Champions League final, which is extraordinary, Stuart, isn't it?
I'm not sure, Cass, whether that's just a throwaway line. Playing for England is always another step up for what you do in a comfortable club environment, you know?
Well, give us the perspective then, because we've seen all the papers and it's damning of England, and so is a lot of the reaction on social media from fans. You've played, as you pointed out, in an England-Scotland game. How different is it to anything else?
That game was no different to any England-Scotland game I've ever played in. I've played a couple at Hampden that have ended up being
in terms
draws.
Of a fixture on its own, stand out, is it? It's nothing like it.
Put it this way. Now, I've never known a build up to any international game where my telephone 2, 3, 4 days before is going off the hook because they want little sound bites. Or you played in England, Scotland, you play. It doesn't happen to any other game. It won't happen on Tuesday when we get into that, and it probably won't even happen if we get to a semi or a final or a quarter final. You know, but for England, Scotland, everyone wants a soundbite of it. The build-up was quite amazing, honestly. You know, and that is an England-Scotland fixture, and Scotland build it up and they love it, and that's what I love about the fixture. I had a tingle in me last night. We were stood there and the national anthems come up of both countries, and for me, and I'm looking at Seoul, and you can see that the heckles on Seoul are getting up as well, and it's just a brilliant fixture. It really is a great fixture in the calendar, I think, and the build-up to it and the pressures that surround not just us that work on the periphery of it, but the players must know that as well. And it was your typical England-Scotland game. It really was. I wouldn't read too much into it. It's almost when England play Scotland or England play the Republic, it's a standalone fixture. It really is. And you can't really put that in context to anything else that will go on in this tournament.